Honda plans to slash the dealer's profits margins by 44%. Now, why should you care? Well, stay tuned and I'll tell you why this affects you, the consumer. Good day, everybody. My name is Pat. This channel is Outsider Reviews, and these episodes are called Outsider Talk, where we talk about the automotive industry. Now, I'm just a military guy doing car reviews, also love talking about the auto industry, so stay tuned and please like and subscribe to the channel to help support and grow the channel. Now, like I said in the beginning, Honda is planning to cut dealer profit margins by 44%. We read this on an article from Automotive News, and it's in particular Honda Canada that is doing this to its Canadian dealerships. Now, this isn't the first time that manufacturers are targeting dealership profit margins in order to save costs. I mean, the idea has always been around, and manufacturers have always nibbled at the profit margins depending on models and depending on which vehicle in particular, such as EVs that we've seen in the past. Now, this particular move of cutting it by 44% is unprecedented. Now, what was reported by Automotive News was that it's to start with the Honda Prologue. So here, the EV move by Honda. Everybody knows EVs are more expensive to make, and this is where it's going to start. However, Honda plans to implement this change across their 2025 lineup. So as starting at 2025, dealers will go from a typical 4.5% of profit margins to about 2.5%. So it's going to cut at least 2% of that 4.5% profit margin that they currently are experiencing on vehicles. Now, part of this is said to be because of the EV transition that is costing lots of money. We know Ford is losing money hand over fist. We know that most startups, Rivian, Lucid, and even Tesla in its early beginnings, had big issues with their profit margins. They weren't that great. They were actually losing money. That's part of the process, though, for any company that comes up with a new product. It takes time to refine making money off that product. You learn ways to save money as you go. But it appears over here, Honda is just planning to take that money away from the dealership. Now, why should you care, the consumer? Well, if you think those dealerships are just going to roll over and just take the loss, you've got another thing coming. Now, some dealers are planning to push back and go through franchise law, which is their right, and basically say that this is a direct targeting at the agreements that was initially in place. Now, that could definitely prove to go very well. Other dealers are hoping that Honda particularly retracts that move and does a reverse course and doesn't touch their profit margins, which is another possibility. However, discussions have been had that Honda will prove to be more lenient and will allow the dealers to make money elsewhere. Now, this is where it affects you, particularly the consumer. For them to make money elsewhere, that means you're the one who's going to end up paying for it and not exactly the dealers themselves, and definitely not Honda. How are they planning on doing this? Some dealers expect the company to basically allow them to make up the money elsewhere. Now, over here in Canada, Honda has been completely against administrative fees. And it's expected that Honda, if they were to implement this, would retract that clause, which would allow the dealers to charge the buyers, you, an administration fee. So there you go. Your cost just went up. The prices of vehicles have gone up substantially in the last 5 years by an average of 40%, which is way higher than the inflation ever was. And the cost was always put on to you, the consumer. A lot of the load comes down to you guys paying more. Now, we're seeing in these financial times that the consumer is actually tired of paying more, myself included. So essentially, what will this mean for Honda and its dealerships? Well, I've got two thoughts on this particular topic, and one of which is we've heard of direct to consumers. We've heard that companies have looked at Tesla and looked at those high profit margins on their vehicles as Tesla makes, and I've been jealous of the direct to consumer look. They don't like sharing money with the dealerships. This case in point, they're directly cutting the profit margins from the dealership and taking it for themselves. So part of me thinks that Honda particularly might be trying to go direct to consumer, and this is one way to cut out the dealership by making them go out of business because not many people can survive on a 2.5% profit margins. Another thought on this is that this will typically hurt Honda as a whole. Honda has been doing very well lately and has a lot of top sellers, especially here in Canada. However, should you be charged an extra admin fee if you're comparing a Honda to a Ford, let's say the Passport to an Explorer and so on, you may be tempted just to go the other way because of that administrative fee that is basically just a money grab. And some consumers might feel that that's just a different reason for them to choose another company over Honda. Some actually compare it to if Honda was to go this way, it would be similar to Dieselgate affecting Volkswagen and how that dramatically affected their sales. Now, I'm not too sure about that. I do know that nobody likes paying administrative fee. I don't know how this is going to plan out. There's definitely a chance that Honda will retract that plan and just say, okay, we'll continue status quo, absorb the cost of moving forward, which means developing new technology, which I think would be the right way for Honda to go. Now, if you guys have your own opinion or your own theory on what this is all about, I'd love to hear it. Please put on your comments down below. And if you like, hit that likes button and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, help us grow this channel. Until then, we'll see you later. Take care.